It's pretty funny though.
Alrighty, so should we get started in Nightfall?
Yes, let's kick it.
All right.
Fuck.
Well, welcome to the Deoceide podcast, guys. I'm HughZ, my co-host Knightfall. Say hi now.
I said hi. I waved. You didn't see.
Oh, okay. No, I didn't see it. Oh, we've lost a RichardCastle.
Rip.
RichardCastle, he's gone.
Rip. That was
He didn't want
our
to be introed.
next guest was RichardCastle.
He's
Oh,
back.
is he returning to us?
Well, yeah, mine just died, of course.
Yeah.
Oh, dear.
All right, and
Got some
welcome.
packets. I have packets to spare.
Welcome to our guests, RichardCastle of the Direwolves, Biggy of Avant Garde, and Ruler, coach of Direwolves, also coach of EU SPL team Justice. How are you boys doing tonight?
Hello.
Fantastic.
Doing good.
You're very quiet still, Biggy. I don't know what you did. You gone quiet again?
Just put your mic in your mouth, like that'll fix it.
Alright, can you hear me now?
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
better.
we can.
Alright.
Alrighty.
I'll speak
So-
loud.
It's like push to talk, but like, just push the mic in
Because I literally pushed the microphone to talk. All right, so a fair bit of stuff to get through in this podcast. We've got a lot to talk about in terms of not only the Oceanic Pro League, the Oceanic community in general, but also the SPL of other regions and what's going on overseas. So let's get right into it with our first kind of thing we start off with, which is the results from last week. So running through them, Avant Garde went 2-0 against Ivory. Direwolves 2-0 against the Chiefs Esports Club. Sif Gaming 2-0 against Team Solo Theo, and Invidious 2-0 against Law Gaming. So a lot of those results reflect ladder positions. The Chiefs and Direwolves game was especially entertaining to cast, at least for me, but also to watch. I'm sure a lot of really, really good plays there. Props to Chiefs for putting up such a tremendous fight, even without their full main roster there. And congratulations, obviously, to Direwolves for winning that one. That's guaranteed Direwolves and Avant their places at the PAX regional finals. And this week's game between them will determine the first and second seed. So, yeah, that's pretty exciting, boys.
Up until this point, it was free FP in OCE, and now this week you don't have a clue who he's going to go to. It's going to be fun.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, it should be a great game. I don't know. Like, we scrim with like 10, 15 times a week, so it'll be finally good to play him in a competitive setting. And see who wins.
Yeah, I think the main goal for us was just to get to PAX first, and
Exactly, yeah. That's
now
our
it's a
goal at the
bit
same
of,
time.
I don't know. Even though I can't play this week, I don't know. I'm still looking forward to just being a fan, I guess, this week.
Yeah, so that's a bit of news for everyone. Biggie won't be playing. The sub for Avant Garde, only good at solo, will be filling in at support. Be interesting to say on stream.
Only good at solo playing support.
Yeah.
That's going to be a great intro right there.
Definitely.
He's going
I
to
mean,
get
hopefully-
roasted if he does bad, though. He's going to be
Yeah.
like, only good at solo proving he's only good at solo.
Yeah.
I hope one game he feeds just to have that in it. That'd be amazing.
So we've just highlighted a little bit the Avant Garde versus Direwolves game, and we'll get back to that one in just a second. But the rest of the games coming up this week is going to be Invidious versus Sif Gaming, another really big game that we're going to talk about. Law Gaming versus Chiefs Esports Club. Unfortunately, Law won't be playing with their full roster as Chilled is banned for a week. Has copped a one-match competitive ban. And Team Solo Theo up against Ivory Gaming. Russian Panda, also from T Solo Theo, has also got a one-week match ban. So
I wonder
some
why.
unfortunate news for those teams there. We won't get into the reasons for those bans on this podcast. They are on Cybergaming if you would like to see those reasons, also on the Facebook page to keep yourself informed there. But realistically, not too much that you can learn there, just other than that they are banned for this week. They will be all good after this week. Of course, the Pro League is over, but it means they will be able to play in the Challengers Cup tournament because that is where all of the teams other than Avant Garde and Direwolves will be playing after this because the two spots from the OPL that lead straight to PAX have been filled. So let's go, before we touch on Avant Garde Direwolves game, let's go to the Sif Invidious game because I feel other than the game we just mentioned, this is going to be probably the closest one of the week.
It's pride game though, isn't it? It's like we can beat you, Sif Gaming. Like from Nvidia's side, it's like we're gonna prove that we're fourth seed. We can get to packs. Like it's their moment to say, look, we might have lost against the other three, but we can come out and beat you, and then we will prove that we're a challenger in the when we play the Challengers Cup.
Yeah.
This is the week they need to prove that they can basically compete with them and then hopefully get the packs off the back of it. It's also the week that Safe Gaming have to prove that they're worthy of sponsorship at the same time, like, because this is the big game apart from, like, all of the games this week just seem to be like games just for pride and like ladder seeding, like, so they can say they're better than the rest of them, honestly. But this is like the big game, the other big game on.
Yep.
I
So
agree.
There
I
you
think
go,
I think it's a big game for Nvidius this week because we scrim Nvidius a bit and we're scrimming them this week leading up to our games, and they put in and they look impressive in scrims, but I think they struggle a bit when it comes to the big important games. And so I think if they can get up on SIF Gaming this week, it'll make the SIF Gaming think twice, because I have no doubt that SIF think they're that fourth spot team at the moment. But
In terms of like mindset, then do you think if they beat them, Biggie, like their mindset will completely change as well, so that it's snowball into becoming a better team?
I just think if they lose this week, if SIF lose this week, they'll be put on notice for the Challenger Cup. So and for Nvidius, if they win, it'll be a huge confidence boost, and I know a few of them, they're big confidence players, so that'll do them a lot of good.
we saw them perform really, really well against Law Gaming. That was one that a lot of people thought was going to be closer than what it was, but Nvidius, I mention it quite frequently in my articles, but Nvidius have looked better every single week of the Pro League. They had some roster moves, not necessarily changes in terms of personnel, but just in terms of role during the period between the Invitational ladder, the OPL qualifiers, and the OPL itself. And now they've all seemed to have settled into their respective roles. And if they can keep going along the path that they're going, I've heard praise from Biggy about how each of them are developing. They could be a very dangerous team. We know that back in the days when they were Silicon, they were a dangerous team. They were top of the open ladder in Season 1. And they've always been desperate to recapture that old form. I'm really, really looking forward to this game. I think it's going to come down to basically game one. I don't think this will be a split. I think it'll be whoever takes game one will take the whole series.
I agree with that. It just comes back to that confidence thing, isn't it? And they're both, from what we've seen, quite equally matched. So it's the battle for fourth spot, but it's still it's going to be exciting to watch and hopefully cast.
It's also it's a big test with they've picked up a new support, Sif have in Twist. It's his first real big game, so a lot of pressure on him to perform, which could be interesting. Could be a weakness there to expose.
Yep.
Yeah. So should we move on to the big dire wolves?
No, there's an even bigger topic right now in chat. HughZ no longer the manliest looking man on the show. Wow. That's the biggest topic right there.
Who's manlier?
I don't know. That's what
good
chat says. You know.
Is it Neo Biggy?
I don't know.
What about RichardCastle? Look at RichardCastle.
that Kiki Omo that Biggie's rocking, along with those, Nordic hair locks. I mean, I'm a bit jealous.
Nordic. Oh. Back to you, Biggie. Oh.
Linky Bill, I feel like Biggie is looking into my soul when he looks at the camera. Wow.
Yes, I am.
Well. All right, so the Avant Direwolves game. So this is one everyone's been looking forward to. The last time we saw these teams face off was at the end of the Invitational ladder in a couple of thrilling games that Direwolves managed to take 2-0, and then Biggie and his Avant boys took the tiebreaker, which was unfortunately unable to be broadcast. So that's why they ended up as the top seed coming out of the Invitational ladder. Even though Direwolves won the game.
I don't recall seeing that game. I don't remember seeing it.
was
Yeah.
it happened.
Yeah. So those were some tremendous games. I know I'm looking forward to some more tremendous games. And yeah, I'm really excited. This is the game everyone's waited all season to watch, both inside the region and outside the region. I really, really hope we'll get a lot of international viewers as well as OCE viewers. And that's on you guys out there in the audience to spread the word on Twitter, Facebook, wherever you guys interact with other Smite fans overseas to get them in here and watch some top level Smite players coming out of OCE. And, you know, I think Avant will be well served by not having their feeding support in there.
Yeah, he feeds so much, man. Poor
So
Biggy.
much. Mm.
He's the support every team needs, but doesn't deserve right now. You know, has to go away.
Yeah, so I don't know, Knightfall. What are you looking for in the Avant Direwolves games? What are you excited to see?
Just the closeness in matches. Like, you mentioned it before that Direwolves took the game in the Invitational League to then bring it to a tiebreaker, and then Avant win the tiebreaker. So that's two competitive match settings where they're like even, like you guys are 1-1 against each other in matchup. So, like, will it happen again? Is the big question, and what will happen in game? Like huge plays, huge misplays, maybe. So I don't know. It's the battle for top spot, and it's just, you know, something that's so exciting to even talk about, and like all the build up to it is just going to make it absolutely epic.
That's why I think the best thing for this is like just not to say anything. Like it's just gonna be, if you just look at them now, look how eager these two are. Look at these two men right here. They're eager, even though Biggy's not gonna be here. Like they're ready for it.
Yeah, disappointing. Biggy's not going to be playing. It'd be good if it was like two full strength teams. But Ogre's a great player, so
Yeah, I think
I heard he's only good at solo.
like I'm not gonna be able to play, but I think like Ogre to me honestly is one of the top mechanical players like in this region. He could be a main roster on either of our teams. So it's just a matter of him this week getting comfortable in scrims, and then we have to adjust a few things around him. But I'm confident that we can 2-0 Direwolves even with him, and I'm sure they're confident, even if I was going to play, that they would 2-0 us.
Yeah. Yeah, it comes down to just like who performs on the day. Like we can in scrims, like it might like one game might be a stomp and the next game might be a stomp the other way. Like I don't know, it's really hard to tell what's going to happen. It's just who plays well, and picks and bans are pretty important as well.
Yeah.
I'm really excited to see how Chuckles and Rowe match up in the jungle, because obviously there's the hype around Maxon and all the MVP hype and all that kind of stuff. But bit controversial here. I think Rowe and Chuckles are the two best junglers in the region, and Maxon comes in third, and that's based just off performance in this split. I think Chuckles has performed outside of his own expectations and beyond what a lot of people thought he was capable of. And Rowe's just been the consistently amazing player we all know he is. And that matchup in the jungle especially is going to be really, really interesting. And, you know, whoever gets the advantage there, I think, will probably be the determining factor in this one.
No doubt.
I don't know.
Oh,
it's hard to look at matchups like that, because like a jungle can't really go on and carry without like his mid and support, or like maybe he's solo, like wherever he's focusing, it really determines like his play. So it's not really like, you can't really do 1v1 matchup. It's really a team v team thing. Like as much as a jungle might look like they're carrying, it's never like just them. Or
like it's the best way to talk about this is how DJ Pernicus should like said on his SPO interview. Like it's a team game. You can't give a person MVP because you work as a team. Sure, someone has a good scorecard, but like it's all the preparation the team does. You know how everyone reacts to each other. Like it's a team game in and out. You might be able to say, "Oh, this guy did really well this game," but there's stuff behind. Like it's comms you don't know. Like it's a huge team game. Like you can't just put it down to one person. So it's great that you can say like these two are really good players and they're going to define the game. Well, no, because like at the same time, it's how the team plays as a whole is how it's going to define the game. It's exciting that like there's such high level play though between these two teams is the main thing. And everyone should be excited to see like who gets first blood or like what crazy junglers we might play, or like if Lane doesn't feed, you know. That's what you should be excited about. Like not like the excited
Or is it
about
just
individual
feedies?
matchups. Just feedy. Spam me just feedies in chat.
It'll be interesting, like definitely, and I think we may see like we're not scrimming each other this week for obvious reasons, so it could be someone picking something like just something out of the blue, going something out of left field and that working for them, or they may try that and it may not come off, and it may be like a one-sided game. It's just depends, who takes the risks and who performs on the day.
Yeah.
Because we both kind of know each other, like each other's god pools in and out, and at the team comps we run, we scrim each other every week. So
Do you think
Yeah.
that's
I guess
perhaps I don't know, detrimental for when you guys do go up against each other? That intimate familiarity between each other. Like, do you think that gives you guys an advantage anyway, or do you think because it's kind of a two-way street and it balances itself out?
It's a two-way street, honestly.
Yeah,
Like
definitely.
it's an advantage and disadvantage. But at the end of the day, like we both want to be the best team, and also represent OCE. Like, so it's in our best interest to do that. And obviously, whoever goes to Worlds will be scrimming each other. So we want to make sure that the best team is at Worlds, like no matter what.
Which is another thing, going on to PAX, I remember when we were talking about, oh god, PAX is coming up, like 8 months, it's far, but like, so hyped for it, now it's like 1.5, 2 months away, like, that just came up so quickly, like, invite letters gone so quickly, Pro League, like, first week, I remember it like it was like yesterday, and now we're at the last week, like, what happened, you know? But it's so awesome that we're already here and 2 teams already qualified for PAX, and I'm excited to see who's 3rd and 4th. I mean, if we're going on performance right now, Chiefs will be that 3rd spot. They just need to keep consistent until then.
Yep. Alrighty. So let's move on to some of our next topics then, unless anyone has any final comments.
nope.
Nope.
That's all summed up on the side.
All right, cool. So let's move on to some international stuff now. So obviously there was some controversy during the week in the Eager versus Denial games where Omega, DC, Denial used up all of their pauses while he was trying to reconnect. He was unfortunately unable to, and Denial ended up taking the games, and then he played on bad ping and frames in their second game. And so that's caused quite a stir in the international community about what happens when players DC, should they just get in a new player or should they extend the pause and whatnot? FDOT actually had a really good video. If someone, Knightfall, can link it in chat, that would be really good.
Yeah.
And basically, he really summed up why it's difficult and to keep extended pauses and why Smite has that 9-minute total pause rule. And basically it was to do with you just can't have that extended amount of pause during a game. And we here in OCE have suffered similar things in terms of stasis mode, in terms of extended pauses during our games because of players DCing and stuff. And it really disrupts the flow of the broadcast and of the commentary. And it's a worse experience for the viewer, even if they have to continue on playing 45. And so a lot of people have come up with their alternate theories of restart the match and put in the sub and things like that. But I just don't think that lends itself to the MOBA genre as much as it does to something like Counter-Strike, which is the main example other people used.
Yeah.
So, I mean, DD, you quite involved with the SPL. How do you see this?
Okay, so you can't restart a match. Like, there's a rule that says after a certain amount of time, like after some amount of time the game starts, or if someone in like first blood, you can't restart a match.
Yeah.
So you can't do it because there's an advantage already. Like,
Yeah.
you can see what, like, if you started a match, restart a match 5 minutes in, you see what they've bought, you see how they've reacted. Like, for example, in the Challengers Cup games, one of the games, a team invaded before the start, almost got destroyed. They restarted the game. Like, that actually happened in one of the games. The admins didn't actually check the game. It really changed how the game was played. Like, one team was tilted and one was really happy, obviously, about how they continued. You can't do that. Now, one of the suggestions was that I read is it was Cret, I think it was, saying that what happens if you could actually put another player in as a substitute, not a count share. So like the idea is that you actually change your person mid-game, so you can say, oh, like Omega will be like, I can't play. Okay, we'll put in Ega's sub now, and you'll play the rest of the game out. So you could do that with one member or whatever. That was one of the suggestions. But DCs and Smite, you just have to deal with it. Like, we can't have perfect internet. You get 9 minutes at this moment unless they put in something in the game. You can't do anything about it. And the rules are fair at the moment for DCs, like the London Conspiracy DC. Like, it's fair they engage, because at the end of the day, you can't give yourself a disadvantage. You can't say, oh, he DC'd, so I'm going to back off. It's real money on the line. There's like, it starts 20 grand at the bottom for the actual SPL, like the bottom team, and it's a chance. Like, if say Paradigm backed off and LC got Fire Giant because of the DC, that could have completely changed the game, and that's one game off Paradigm when they need those games. Like, everyone's saying it was free FP week. Like, and what happened? Those 4 teams that like lost everyone FP. Like,
Yeah.
every game is important, and every DC is very important. Like, you can't just say you should restart the game. It's a really bad subject
Do you
in
reckon?
terms of like,
Oh, sorry, you go, Biggie.
I think that's just the nature of online play, and I think that's why Riot, with League of Legends, have gone to the point of having LAN pro leagues, like having their LCS on
Yeah.
LAN. It removes almost 100% that issue,
Yeah.
and I think
But
Smite
then the
will
prob-
eventually be there, but just not right now.
yeah, exactly. It's too young in the scene. Like, we're only in season 2 still. Like, this is the end of season 2. It's too, what you call it? It's too early in the scene for them to be
Yeah.
able to afford a LAN for every game.
Yeah. Do you?
And OCE wise, like, do you think they would do a LAN eventually? Like, your scene's even newer. Like, you're gonna be
Yeah.
eventually.
I-
but
It'll
you're gonna
take
be
time,
behind.
but we'll get
It'll
there.
take a lot of time.
Do you guys
So I-
reckon
considering
that?
League of Legends in OCE isn't all played on LAN, like a lot of events are, but not every single game.
Exactly.
It'll still take a while. I think basically League of Legends reaches a milestone, and then Smite has to try and catch up to get to that milestone. I think though Smite's gone very rapidly through its first 2 seasons,
Mm.
and it's just going to take one explosive event to really put it into the mainstream nomenclature like League of Legends is, to get those kind of viewers and to get that kind of following in OCE especially. Like, I know NA and EU, it's got a fair amount of followers, but nowhere to the extent that League of Legends or Dota 2 does, or even now Hearth, Heroes of the Storm. But that's basically because Blizzard, they're gonna
Yeah.
get viewers no matter what they put out. And once Smite reaches that tipping point, I think it'll be able to do that, because I mean, if we just look at history, that's what history has told us. But it's about getting to that point, which I think is a difficult path that Smite has to navigate to make it to that point and not to become just another game. But I think the moves that they've done so far, and especially this season with the better distribution of prize money, supporting challenges, cup scenes, and stuff like that, is good signs for helping the scene grow and motivating people to play.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing will be Xbox, like Smite now being on Xbox,
Yeah.
and maybe if Smite goes onto Steam as well, that could like double the player base within a year, if that's all successful.
Yeah.
I think that'll be the biggest sort of growth path for Smite.
Back to the subbing in thing. Do you guys reckon that Smite should have it if they were to implement it, like into a
Yes,
MOBA,
100.
into a MOBA genre, like you mentioned before? CS:GO does it, but would it make any difference for
100%.
it?
100%.
What's this, sorry?
It would change everything.
Like if
That's
you
what I
could
was
sub
talking about.
someone in mid game.
Yes, it would. Yeah.
Because
Because,
I was
like, you-
talking about like solo laners though, like if you had a solo laner like Cyclone's been playing Assassins, and then you had like a solo laner like Divio's playing, Bruisers, like, and then you just pick a draft, and that draft suits like a Bruiser comp, and then you just like sub in that solo laner to play instead of the other one.
Hmm.
Like,
Yeah,
what's
but
subbing?
then the
That was
rule should be the guy is DC. Like, they, like,
Yeah, but like
you shouldn't.
It's hard to tell what's like a real DC. and what's not.
Well, that's the problem, obviously. But
Mm.
like, high-res client like does detect like someone quitting the game over someone like actually losing their net. So hopefully, like something along that line would be like used. I don't know. Like
Yeah.
it's hard. Yeah, I get in that case. Yeah, you could have like your substitutes who are like really good at certain stuff, but if they did that in the in like the NA Pro League, like people would know they were doing that. It's not something that's like oblivious.
Yeah.
Like if you were swapping out every single good game, like you were swapping out your normal soul laner for an assassin soul laner, like everyone would know that, and you'd be called out, and there'd probably be a fine on it if you're doing it on purpose.
Mm.
Like honestly,
Oh, you'd have to.
like
Yeah.
it's not you're not going to be able to hide someone. Like it's the thing. You're not going to be able to say, "Oh, this person." No, he's just our sub. Honestly, like his name is Mr. Makey's now free. Like Mr. Makey, like he plays Warriors. Yeah. No. He's just our sub. Honestly, he DC'd. We need Mr. Makey now. Like they would eventually get a reputation for doing that, and Highways would probably do a competitive ruling against it. So it would get fixed.
Alrighty. Should we move on to patch notes, which is it's implementing now, is it?
Yeah, that
Yep.
is exactly what's going on. Xing Tian.
I
Interesting.
feel like there's going to be so many ways to say that, like the whole Shubalanke situation.
X-Tang.
I saw on
we're
the
very
Reddit
lucky.
it said like Xing Tian or whatever. Like what?
Well, we're very lucky in that all three of our special guests main support, two of them competitively, one of them formerly before he was a coach. So we've got three people who are very well versed on what supports can do. So I don't know. Let's start with Richard. Richard, what do you think of this new Chinese Guardian?
Well, I haven't played the PTS, so I've watched Incon play him a few times, and what he seemed to think was that he was actually pretty weak at the moment, but he got a little buff there on these base stats, which should make him a little bit better. I think his ultimate's really good, but I think his lead's his three's pretty weak, and his one and his two have okay damage, but I'm not sure if he'll be top tier. I think he'll just be middle of the road kind of support.
His ult looks pretty strong, just based on like looking at what it does, like grabbing everyone, spinning them around, and then throwing them back. Like it's a giant
Okay, but
Mercury ult. Yeah.
Yeah, but what ult does it closely resemble in terms of like what it does? Like, it's Richard's favorite god Ares. Like he's like he's like a sort of different sort of Ares in my opinion. Like he's
Ares
he's
with
weird.
less damage.
With less, yeah, exactly. But like a lot more
But with
CC.
a
Like he has that
little
knock up
bunny
into a root, and he has a dash. Like he's a weird support.
Yeah, you can get out of that route pretty easily as well, because it gives you time to dash out.
I'd rather hear what Biggy says first, and then I'll say what I think of him.
I honestly haven't played him yet.
Oh, you obviously like OC ping on PTS, but like, have you seen anyone play him? Like, have you read it?
I've watched a little bit. I've seen him. He just doesn't look like when I look at supports. I look at like Geb Sylvanas. For me, Geb Sylvanas, Athena.
Your passive support, yeah. So like the ones that are more like
just like your
tuned
team
to
fight
defend
control
your team, yeah.
supports.
Yeah.
I think he looks decent, but at the same time, I just don't think he's on that level. So I think that's
what for a lot of team fight, like knocking two people up, like he's pretty big. Like yeah, like his combo is insane. His combo potential is insane. Like when you think about it, like he can chuck you straight into his knock up. Like
Geb Shield, Athena Taunt, Sylvanas like knock up and a healer, like that sort of stuff. It's just I don't think anything in his kit is like quite as good as the top tier supports.
Oh no! There's something way better. There's a knock up. Like you can't beat out the knock up, like you can with everything else. Like with everything you listed there. Like the only thing is Geb, but then he roots on top, so he's got an equal like thing to Geb there. His ult you have to beat basically. I would say.
Yeah.
You can't let yourself be pulled. So it's another like he's a beats popper. He has a dash to escape, and then his one does a lot of damage. Like he does decent damage early game.
Would you see
That's
him?
what I think.
He's
I haven't
passive
actually
cross
played
on
him
minions.
because I forgot about the PTS.
What is the
Yes, they
passive?
just changed that so that it does
Yeah.
on minions.
So that'll be a lot better.
Would you
Yeah, it will
see
be.
him in the solo lane? Like Hades was meant to be a guardian, and then he's a solo laner now. Would you see the same thing happen?
It's hard to say. I haven't actually played
'Cause-
him. Like I've only looking. I forgot about PTS and I tried to play yesterday and then didn't play him. But I think he's gonna be good. I just don't think he'll be good in any role but support at the moment. Someone will prove me wrong. I think it could be him and Kepri meta though. Like two really strong gods, in what they do.
Hmm.
It just depends on how he plays, honestly. On paper, he looks fantastic. In practice, though,
It's
it could be a lot different.
Yeah. Okay. Also in this patch, Weakening Curse got nerfed a lot. Thoughts?
Makes me
That's
sad.
pretty bad.
This is my thoughts. Hold on. It's just me taking my headset off. I'm just done.
Oh.
Why is it nerf weakening? Yeah, if I had my
It's-
cam on, that would have been better. Why
Yeah.
did they nerf
Yeah.
it? Okay, so my biggest problem with that is why didn't they nerf other actives at the same time? It's if you're gonna nerf weakening, why wouldn't you nerf blink, which is everyone's picking up as well at the moment?
They did
That
something
item
to
is
it, didn't
just
they?
soared in popularity.
No, they just fixed an issue with it. Yeah, I agree. And
Healers are so broken at the moment. If you let,
Yeah.
you saw in that Dig v Fnatic game when Hell got late game, even with 100% weakening, they still couldn't do anything about it. So 65%, and then people are going to start picking up Rod of Asclepius and Heavenly Agilities. It's just going to be double healer meta's going to be in full swing. I think
Hmm.
it'll be hard to shut down.
I think it's just unnecessary. I think.
Yeah, I don't know why you wouldn't nerf fucking blink, but then nerf weakening. It's really strange.
Do you reckon it's just Hyra's going, let's see what happens?
I think
Like-
Tyra's wanting healers to be a bit more viable, but healers are really viable at the moment. So
Yeah. And
and solo, and especially when majors are coming back.
I saw Sporks playing Hell the other day in a casual, and I got absolutely trashed on. But then again, it's Sporks, so how did?
Against you.
Yeah, he's
Whoa!
practicing that. He's practicing that
Whoa!
for this week.
I'm a pretty bad solo laner, I'll be honest. I'm pretty bad in general. Yeah, I agree with you, HughZ. Although at least I can pick up packets.
Oh,
Yeah,
Wow. Way to make it personal. God.
No, you're
why
doing
is
it now.
packets on HughZ? You're
Yeah.
losing packets, HughZ.
I know. Because I'm so generous, I'm just handing packets out to everyone else and got none left for myself. Alright.
You should do.
So
Someone should make a GIF of how many packets HughZ loses throughout the podcast. Just slowly degrade into a pile of just one pixel. Just
Yeah.
Alrighty, so let's go on to some of the teams in the SPL and MA near you. So some of the stronger teams out there, for those that might not follow those scenes quite as closely as the OPL, AFK and Epsilon are sitting atop their respective regions, and both look very, very strong at the moment. Enemy in North America surprised a lot of people, doing some tremendous work there. Took a game off Cloud9, which I don't think even Enemy was expecting to do. Justice, DD's Rulers EU team took a game off Titan in very nice fashion, so that was a big boost for them. And yeah, the free FP week, as we mentioned, a lot of upset results there. We mentioned C9, COG beat Team Solo mid, Eager lost to Tenile, Justice taking the game off Titan, Dignitas took a game off Fnatic. Those were games we were told, free FP, and those teams really came out and surprised everyone, I think. And I think it goes to show how close the skill level in those regions are, and how all of those teams should still be respected by their opponents, and how much work they put into this game.
It's pretty surprising seeing bottom teams take games off top teams, which is it's pretty epic as well. Like they're that competitive, you know.
It's good for competition. I think like it's easy. I think it's easy to get to the top. It's hard to stay there. And I think now that there's so much money in these like pro leagues that these teams can afford to, you know, put more effort and more time into their practice. So it's not just the top. Like the whole purpose of the division of money was so that it wasn't just the top teams taking all the money. So now teams like Enemy can, I think it's like you get 20 grand for coming 8th or something. So there's a lot of motivation.
Yes.
There's a lot of motivation, not only just to play, but then to do well.
Like the main motivation is not to like seed in the bottom 4. The motivation is to get to the LAN. That's where you want to be.
And yeah,
like,
obviously
this is the final split. Yeah, exactly. This is the final. There's a wild card. Like you want to get in that 4th spot. Everyone is pulling everything out they can. Everyone is improving. Like they're trying their best. Clearly, like everyone that's like won this week has been trying their hardest. Like even the fact that like we took a game, Dig took a game off the two arguably best teams in EU is one of the things like everyone should be like, whoa, this scene's about to blow up in the next few weeks, because although Epsilon is really strong at the moment, like someone could do the same thing to them. But like I think they're defining the meta in EU right now, so I think there's going to be another meta developing right now. They'll eventually like take hold, then everyone will slowly get their placing back. But at the moment, like no one knows truly what exactly to do, and because of that, like there's these big Titan, like well not Titan the team as in like these big teams that have been taken down by smaller teams that you don't expect. Like the Enemy and COG situation, like they're both really good teams. Like Enemy last season, well, obviously Legion, DJ Pennicus' team was really strong still. Like they took position way higher than people thought they would. They were a Challenger Cup team. Like this season so far, Myrmidons have done really well. They're obviously going through a bit of rough changes now because they've changed their solo, their jungler. But like this season's really close compared to the last one. We might see a change in the next few weeks when people, but like for now, it's really close. And I couldn't honestly tell you who's going to LAN or not. Like in the 4th or 3rd place spot in either region.
Apart from Epsilon and AFK, probably. Like dead certainties.
Yeah, still haven't
I think
dropped a match. Like, oh.
The thing with Epsilon is I think Epsilon should have been at the LAN, but with Rafa being banned, because their team was always good. Let's just point this out. Maybe like their support and ADC wasn't like they weren't instantly the best, but like over time they've become really strong as a team, and Rafa's calling is clearly what makes them at the moment the best team. Like him and like how they all play, because their team has arguably the best people in EU right now. Like at least two of the best people in EU, I'd say. They've always been a strong team, but like they're proving it this season.
Yeah, and then in NA, I think one of the best moments of the week came out of the denial games. DJ Pernicus' interview was pretty good.
His interview was fantastic.
Did you get the audio working in the end?
I think Knightfall's got something for us.
Yeah.
Oh my god, not paying attention.
I am. I'm ready. I mean, I'm trying to play it off like I don't know what you're talking about, but I know exactly what you're talking about.
But it was a really good interview, and like the start of it was fantastic.
Do you have that audio for the start of it for us, Knightfall?
Yeah, we're ready. We're going.
Yeah.
Why am I playing this again?
Did you watch the interview?
I don't know.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Because like we can't hear it, so I didn't actually know it was starting, and then I come on scream and go in, like, and I'm like,
Really awkward.
Tell us when it's finished, Knightfall, so we can start talking.
You should have just screamed, "Oh, my name is John Cena, boys."
Yeah.
And then we would have all been like, "What?"
I feel like we should have practiced that just a little bit.
Yeah.
To be
Well,
fair,
I tried to set it up.
As this,
Anyway, yes. So at the start of his interview, DJ Pernicus played the John Cena song, and then proceeded to have a really funny and nice interview with the casters.
It
He's just,
was pretty.
proving again what a good dude he is.
Yeah. My views on DJ Pernicus completely changed after that. Like he's a really cool dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's that. For those of you that may have missed it, cool interview. So let's keep moving through our things to talk about. So top plays from this week from the Smite OPL, the Smite Oceania Pro League. So this week a different system was implemented where you, the viewer, were able to submit plays to us at Team Down TV /Cybergamer. I'm going to get that highlight reel up right now. And you guys responded very, very well, submitted some really good plays for us that were really fun to watch. And I know Cyanide had lots of fun voicing them over and showing off what this scene can do. And there is the plays right there. And yeah, so there is basically a form where you guys can submit the play, the time code, in the Team Down TV Twitch channel. So if when you guys are watching, if you see a play, you can see what time it is, note it down in there, and submit it to us, and we'll try and put it in the highlight reel. And that's what we did this week, and we got quite a few good plays out of that. Everyone seems to really, really enjoy them. And yeah, guys, what are your thoughts on this new method of top plays?
I like it. It means less work for us to do. No, I'm kidding.
But it's more like you're letting the viewer decide what the plays are, which is good.
Exactly. It's good.
Yeah,
And at the end of the day, you casters are all casting, and you're like, all these players are good, and then the viewers are like, no, this is for an amateur, this is the best player.
Yeah, and it's really hard for us to go through all the VODs again because there's 4 matches, best of 2s. Most of the time it's 8 hours worth of gameplay that we sort of have to sift through to try and find something. So if people point it out to us, and give us a time, we don't have to sit there for hours on end, which is really good.
Yeah, I mean, Richard, you guys were in those top plays. What did you think?
Yeah, I was pretty happy with the format of this week's top plays. I like the team fight one in particular. So it's a lot more like a Nuki's top 5 plays from the US and EU or whatever. So I think it's a bit more in depth than what it was in the previous weeks.
And it's good. Hopefully we can keep it up. And we need some hot plays come from this week.
Yeah.
Which undoubtedly there will be.
Oh, for sure. All of those great games. We've got Avant Garde, Sif Invidious, Lord Chiefs. I think that one will be surprising to some people. I think there'll be some plays from that one. And then Ivory v Team Solitaire. That'll be a close one too. So I think this week's all going to be pretty close. It's going to be very hard to call. Very hard to get your FP.
Yeah, hardest week for sure.
Yeah, let's move on to some other news. So we're having a bit of a European invasion of Australia. So, colonization round 2, as the Chiefs have got their new coach, who is Smite Alexi from EU, who's a close friend of Ruler here. And so, Avant, Direwolves, Chiefs, arguably the 3 best teams, have all got European coaches now, and, starting to see some of that influence the meta. I mean, Ruler, talk to us about Alexi and how well you know him and what he can bring to the Chiefs.
Well, a funny story. Alexi, no one will know who he is. So, Alexi was a Challenger Cup, another Challenger Cup coach in the EU. Now, Alexi could bring a lot of good ideas, which is why I suggested him to Pretzel, because he asked me I was asking him, and he was like, "Oh, we need a coach. We'd beat you if we had a coach, etc." I was like, yeah. I'll give you. There you are. There's Alexi. But he was a very unknown person, and he played. It was a team called Moon Men, which they kind of got a bit wrecked in the Challenger Cup, but they mainly didn't listen to him because obviously of his reputation, and how he was a player. He was always looking for team, and like they didn't really respect him, so they didn't listen to him. So his ambition was like to find a team that would like respect him as a player to begin with, so then they could work together to become better. Which is clearly like from the week or two they've had him, like it is clear, improvement on the team. The drafting's a lot better, I'd say, especially against us. And obviously we've scrimmed once or twice against them. It's definitely seen the improvement. He's a really nice guy, and like I thought he deserved the spot, and was like, well, yeah, I'll say to Pretzel, here you are. Try this guy out. And I know there's other coaches looking around the scene now. Like, there's a lot of people from EU that's interested in OC, because obviously the time zone's great for us. So, like, we just would get up, we come straight into scrims, and we talk to you guys, and then you all go off to bed. Or if you're like the Direwolves lot, they all sit up till 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. You're like, why are you still up, you idiots?
Yeah.
We're playing Rocket League.
Rocket League.
Yeah, me and Biggy are
Professional
starting
Rocket
a
League
team.
player, Biggy.
And
fucking
I'm right here.
RichardCastle.
Yeah, no, so we're
You're not a
gonna do it.
professional Rocket League player. You're not a professional
Rookie
anything. Caster maybe. Oh,
I got this
professional
headset.
packet loser. Professional
I
packet
got-
loser. That's what
I
you'd
got
be.
this headset. All right, this headset from my great
Are you
sponsors at
Can
Plantronics.
you sell out,
Uh,
please? Sell out your headset, please.
What? Sell it out. I got this.
Be
I don't
sell
have
out.
the box anymore. I've got this great Plantronics rig
Pitch it
headset
to us.
sent to me. It's very comfortable, and
my quality
people don't hear my mechanical keys going anymore, which is a bonus. But yeah, Rocket League's pretty fun. But this is a Smite podcast, so we'll move on from that.
That face when I don't have my headset yet and all the other
Yeah.
people do, I cry every time.
Yeah, well,
I'm
New Zealand.
sad.
I'll take
I'm
your
pretty
internet
sure.
over this headset, though.
I'm pretty
have
Like,
your
sure.
sandbox
won't take
yet?
your internet.
I'm pretty sure I missed it because we got one of those. Oh, we missed your delivery. Come and pick it up thingies today, and I'm pretty sure it's the headset. I don't know what else it could be there, but yeah. So it's waiting for me
Yeah.
at the post office.
Are you gonna sell out the rest of your stuff now? You're gonna be like, oh, sandbox it, yeah. Get
I'm-
your Neath
speaking of
statue.
which,
go get your Neath
this
statue.
here is a Neath. You guys can't see it, but I'm holding it up to the camera. I'll
Use
sell
it,
it out.
so I
This
can be a
is a
sellout.
really cool.
Yeah. Oh,
Neath thing.
tonight
It gives you
I'm
a-
also sponsored by Wild Turkey American Honey. Very, very nice.
Is that
would
alcohol
recommend
on
out
a
of 10.
stream?
No, this is actually just flavored water.
Oh, okay.
Just the bottle. I'm sponsored by the bottle, the glassware.
Yeah, the glassware.
All right, let's move on past being idiots. So, not that we're not always idiots.
not.
We've talked about Alexei. Now, Kepri is available for competitive play this week in both the SPL and the OPL. So that's pretty big news. That got in with his just insane ultimate where people don't die anymore, and his protections buff on his 2. Just a really, really strong character. Again, we've got some supports here with us. Talk to us about Kepri.
Before we do, can I just say, I'm pretty sure the question is who's gonna be the band that gets out, that gets replaced by the Kepri ban? Because everyone's gonna ban Kepri, no doubt.
No, I don't know.
That's
I
what
think-
Would it not be worth it?
I think in the EU, in the first game of EU, the Myrmidon's Epsilon game, he might get through. Honestly, I think he could.
Really?
That's why I think, like, yeah, I think so. Yeah. Well, I'm not gonna say why I think so, but I think he could be in it. He could be in that game. I think that's the game to watch if you want to see. I think Kepri will be somewhere in the SPL this week. It might not be in OC, but it'll be everywhere else, I think. But,
It's
like,
very comp dependent, and to do that,
Yeah,
you
exactly.
need to practice with those comps, and I'm not sure if it's quite enough time for teams to
Like-
have practiced it to pull it out properly in competitive play for this week. But you might, I don't know, you might see Lucy. I'm not too sure. We might pick
Like,
it.
you haven't-
Bart might pick it. Who knows?
Like, people might be practicing it in secret. We don't know. That's the thing. Like, in EU anyway, like
Burger's been
you
playing
don't
really
know.
confident.
In OC,
I know you can't play it.
but like this week, Biggy's not playing. So like, even if Biggy's practiced it, like he's probably Olga might not play it. Like we don't know. That's the thing. Like you might have secretly been practicing it all week, but it's probably going to get banned both games, probably.
No,
But I think if you want to see Kep reaction,
Or
I think it's
I'm
like
level 3.
I think his ult is a little touch and go. Like it's great when it works, but when it doesn't, it just I think you live and die by the ult. To be
But the
honest,
thing
and it's a
about
bit,
the ult, like just to cut you off, the thing about the ult though is like it makes a fight. It makes you think twice about a fight.
Mm.
So it makes you think, do we want to go in? We have to kill the Khepri first because the Khepri has ultimate. Like that's the main thing about it.
it's almost like you have to bait it out before you can even fight.
Yeah,
To an
exactly.
extent. And it's gonna affect like a jungler if you're looking to gank or something. And there's a Khepri sitting there, you're gonna think twice and have that hesitation, I guess, to look for to try and kill a carry with a Khepri sitting there with ult. So
Like
it's a unique thing to play around.
yeah. Like I've seen him being played in competitive in like amateur tournaments. Like there was an EGL yesterday in EU, and the two top teams were playing it from the challengers, and they basically one
playing in
team
support?
actually just completely they play the support.
Yeah.
Tin's playing the support, and what happened is Tin's altered his AD carry. They killed the AD carry straight off. They just didn't care, and then they completely engaged on them, and Khepri died for it. Yeah, even though like the team came in, they just made sure the ult was done. Like just get rid of it, get rid of the movement speed, make sure he's gone. Because they weren't going to kill him. They just went on the Khepri straight after. They just made sure he was cleansed so he couldn't move faster. If they could catch them both, they would have killed both of them. That's the thing. Like that movement speed on top of it's pretty. You've got to consider both things.
Yeah, and the
So like
power.
killing the Khepri is essential, but sometimes it's not always the best like thing anyway to attack. To just leave the target live because he could just get away faster.
Mhm.
It's up to 60% movement speed after all. Like that's a lot, or whatever it is. It's something like that. It's a lot of movement speed. It's
I think
40,
it's
isn't it?
40.
Actually, yeah, it's 40. I was thinking about the
60%
health,
life back.
It's 60 health, yeah.
Max range, yeah.
but the movement speed and the cleansing, it's really annoying.
Yeah, the cleanse is really good. I don't know, it's a little bit awkward at times. Like sometimes you think you time it perfectly and it goes on cooldown and the guy dies as well. And other times, people just get exploded. You might like be hovering your ult over the guy, but he gets exploded instantly. Like they might do more damage than you think. And then you can do it too early and then they don't attack him as well. So it's a little awkward. Like it's great for tower diving because the person can just die to tower. And then there's the thing you said before about people thinking twice about going in. But,
Yeah.
he'll be good.
Cool. Yeah.
It'd be interesting.
Yeah, he'll definitely be interesting. It's a
Certainly
different
a
style.
different type of Guardian to what we usually seen before, where a lot of Guardians have been played as initiators rather than kind of supporting characters or just pure tanks. So it'll be very
You have
interesting to see that.
backline. It's
Yeah,
usually his two is probably his best skill. Like 40% true damage mitigation is
It's a free
outrageous.
show.
Like and it lasts for 3 seconds, and you can cast it like every 6 seconds with full cooldown.
Mm.
But you got to be at the back and not interrupted to use it properly, and it's kind of strange for a support.
And also kind of forces your team to grab an initiator in the solo lane or in the jungle rather than two hyper carries as well. So it'll influence team comps a lot, which will be really interesting to see how teams adapt around that. Let's move on to our final item of the night before we get into questions from the chat. So don't put in any questions just yet. We'll be getting to them very, very shortly. The last thing to talk about very, very quickly is what happens after the OPL. So as many of you know, only the top 2 teams from the OPL will be going through to PAX, and then 2 teams from a Challengers Cup tournament will make up the 3rd and 4th seeds to PAX. So the top 2 seeds going to PAX already, as we mentioned, Dials and Avant Garde. Congrats to our 2 guests on the podcast at the moment. But the Challengers Cup tournament, details of how that will run were released last week on Cybergamer and posted to the Facebook page and Reddit as well. Basically, how that will work is the 6 remaining teams from the OPL that are not automatically in the finals at PAX will be seeded into a tournament that will also feature the top 6 open ladder teams and 2 teams from LAN events across Australia and New Zealand. If not enough LAN teams are formed or cannot make it for the event, we will grab more teams from the open ladder. What will happen then is a double elimination tournament held over 2 days, where it'll be best of ones up until the semi-finals of both the winners and losers brackets, which will then become best of threes, as those will determine the 2 teams that will go to PAX and then the seeding of those teams that go to PAX. So very important stuff on the line there. It's all available on Cybergamer. I will grab the link for you very shortly. But guys, what do you think of that format? Do you think we could see any upsets, or do you think that'll enable the best teams to get to PAX?
Upset's definitely best of ones.
Best of ones, and maybe even best of threes to an extent. There's potential there for upset. Or for upsets.
Because when you think about the teams that could be that are currently at the top, there's Force and Boys in the open ladder. There's Defiance. There's Cogclick. So there's 3 teams already. How many teams from the open ladder are going through? Did you say?
6.
6. So you've got 3 there. I can't remember the rest of them, but like when you've got 12 teams, or like there's 2 definite like favorites, which are obviously Sif and Chiefs. But I think there's potential upset, especially Defiance. Defiance look pretty strong.
We played Defiance. We played Defiance in the scrim the other day, and they played pretty well against us.
I don't think Defiance are gonna play, are they?
No, Defiance aren't.
Play.
They can't make it to the tournament.
That sucks. Like they had potential.
Yeah, which is unfortunate for them, but that'll enable another spot to open up for another open ladder team. Cogclick have also looked very strong. They were part of the invitational ladder, so they want to prove their worth again.
Who was on Defiance? That was HughZ's team, wasn't it?
Like Desecrator and yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, Matthias, HughZ, Des,
Ultimate Abyss,
and Beast. That's a pretty strong looking team right there.
We're getting. They might be playing after all. I know. We're getting mixed messages from across the board. But yeah,
I hope they are.
I hope they are as well. They're a bunch of really, really talented players that have been around the scene for a fair bit, and I'd really like to see them how they match up against some of those Pro League teams. So just going to read out the top 6 teams as they currently stand. So it's Cognitive Click, then the Forsen Boys, Defiance, Team Yandagaya. I've been told that's the way to pronounce it. I hope I still got it right the second time. K's, please forgive me if I said it wrong. Pandemic Gaming, and then Elim Gaming. So those are the top 6 teams in the open ladder as it currently stands. Forsen Boys, although they were unable to make it through the Pro League qualifiers on day 2, day 1, I think they won their group and did really, really well. So be interested to see how they've grown over the time. Cognitive Click, they were in the invitational ladder, surprised a couple of teams in there, but ultimately were relegated in the qualifier tournament. We mentioned Defiance. Team Yanda guys got a couple of good plays in there as well. So they should be looking to make an impact. Like Case Vacation there, again, another player that was part of an invitational ladder team, which was Citadel Gaming. Some other talented players there as well. Pandemic Gaming's been a consistently strong team, and Elim Gaming as well should be able to do some nice work. So I'm really, really keen for that one-day tournament. That'll be happening on the 19th and 20th of September, I believe. Yeah.
Oh, also, by the way, Open Ladder closes this Sunday, I think it is. Is it Sunday? Yes, it is. So, if there's still time for you guys to create teams and then challenge people on the ladder to actually take a spot in and get into the Challenger Cup tournament. So if you start right now and you challenge someone right now, then you can get in if you do win a match against them. Also, just to clear things up, if someone challenges you before the ladder locks, you still have to play that match.
Do you have to play all the matches out?
Yeah.
That's the question.
Even after it closes,
fine. That's good.
Yeah, which is good, indeed. But yeah.
That's good for the scene.
So that's that.
Yeah, so that's so even though best of ones can create some upsets, the way it's seeded should hopefully allow the better teams to I don't know, like it's not it's not biased, but it's set out in such a way that so basically on the first day, the top 2 relegated teams from the Pro League have a first round bye, and then and then all the seeding has sorted itself out on the challenge brackets, which will be released at a later date. But from what it looks like at the moment, they should all the matchups should be a fair system. The best teams should get through, and we should see the best teams at PAX.
Yeah. And
So
it's
you'll
double
see bottom.
elimination, which is the biggest thing.
Yeah, it's double elimination as well, which helps alleviate some of the surprise, upsets and stuff. So even if you are taken out in one match by cheese, you can still come back at pretty much any point, and you have to get knocked out again. But yeah, all right. So that's our final kind of news article. Unless anyone has anything else to add.
I have a big question about that though. Like, what's happening casting wise for that? Are you just going to cast like as if it's a
It'll be
challenge?
cast on Team Down TV. It'll be
Was
cast
it?
on Team Down TV. So what'll happen is we'll just select a game each round to cast and then cast it.
Yeah.
Is Cyanide aware of this?
Yes.
Was he? Oh, I missed that
Yeah.
discussion.
Even
We've
with the
talked about
double
it.
elimination
My
though,
bad.
like how's that going to work? Like, it's going to
We'll
be a
work it
big
out.
tournament. Yeah, it's going to be a big
Yeah,
tournament.
we'll work it out. That's why it's over 2 days. But yeah, we'll work it out. Yeah, we have talked about it.
Hmm.
Yes, because it's part of the oceanic scene stuff.
Yeah.
See, look, he even says in chat he is aware of it.
Okay, cool.
We've talked about it. Okay, so let's open up to some questions from chat. So type in some questions. You can direct it to all of us or to any one of us. Hit us with whatever. I don't think anyone's going to be offended by anything. Sandman, can you cast the tournament? I don't know. If you've ever played Smite before, you can. Generally, some
has.
knowledge of the game is required
I played with him
to
one
cast
time.
it.
Not the best.
We'll just
I
have
hear
like
there
all
is
the.
a casting spot free.
Have you
We'll
ever
have like a
played
secondary.
Will the
cast
games
of,
at
like, a
PAX be
banner one.
streamed as well? That is to be determined, DJ Bing Bing, but I would say 99% yes.
Wow.
Wait,
Me and Melon should bantercast. Like, we
Yeah.
should just have our separate on stream up and just bantercast everything. Melons
Yeah.
would be hilarious.
do you know what we should do? Is not cast regionals and then just have the winner just go straight and no one knows. That's a great idea.
What, like Brazil? Is that what they're doing? You know, like sneak them
Did
in?
they not stream this?
No, they're trying to hide theirs as much as possible, though. Like, they're trying to
Why?
hide the scenes, so like because they think they can take out the top teams, so they're trying to hide them as much as possible. Apparently,
Okay.
LATAM is not really as hidden because they banned everyone. So rip LATAM.
That's actually one thing to mention is that Latin America and Brazil is now on the season ticket.
Oh, true.
Yeah, so you'll be able to earn some more FP through there. Maybe if anyone knows what's going on there.
Yeah, if anyone
Yeah.
knows.
I know that
Smite
Rule has
Central-
got some
Smite
interest in the
Central
Latin
is-
American Sea, and yes, Smite
Yes,
Central.
my Central's looking for a writer for that.
Mm.
You meant to sell out your company. Come on, easy, please.
Yeah, I was waiting for the article plug.
I don't
Like
know
HughZ.
what's happening. But yeah, Smite Central. If you guys know the Latin American or Brazilian regions, they're looking for people. They're always looking for people.
The only thing
Predictions
about
for this
LATAM
week.
is they're all banned, so you'll never be able to guess.
Yeah, they're all banned, so it'll be like 1v1s, first to kill a tower.
1v1 tournament.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Because I think there's only 2 or 3 players from Latin America that weren't banned and all that. So
In fairness, most of them were like 3-day bans, but
Yeah.
there's some 15-day bans that will definitely affect the tournaments, and even yearly bans on some people, which is pretty bad. When you banned out your pro league, it's pretty funny.
Here's a question. Predictions for this week's results of Sith versus Invid and Avant vs. Star Wars. Mine and HughZ's predictions will probably come out in his articles, but yeah. Which would be really freaking hard to choose. Like, holy crap. I don't want to
Yeah.
choose.
Don't let me down, Knightfall.
Can I opt out?
No.
Shit.
I think
I'll
the
vote
biggest
split.
question is
I'll vote
how
split.
much money will Biggy and Richard take in order to rig the results? That's the question, if any.
Why do you think I'm not playing this week?
Like Rippy just went, he's a free holiday, Biggie.
I honestly can't call either series. Like, even if I was like whether I'm playing or not, I can't. It's just whoever shows up on the day, to be honest.
Hmm.
I think the Invid Sif games will be like, I think 1-1. I think Invid will like grind out a long win. I think the other game you might see Divine get huge, and it'll be a shorter game. That's my prediction.
I think
anyway.
you just have to bet randomly. That's the best way. Just close your eyes and pick one. It's too hard to predict both games.
What happens if it's a 1-1 draw, admins? Is it a third game, or do we play another
For
ticket?
for who?
It's
For Avant Garde?
Yes, then it's a
Have to be
tiebreaker
another
game.
game. It's a tiebreaker.
There will be a tiebreaker game.
Straight after.
which is a best of one. I'm
Yep.
pretty sure in the rules. Yep.
Who gets to go first pick, or who gets to choose?
That is a
Is it a
good
coin toss?
question.
That'll be
I think
stuff.
so.
That'll be stuff for admins to determine if
Uh,
and when it
Me and
happens.
It'll
Biggy-
probably be
me and
in the
Biggy will
rules.
not pick
Yeah.
one Rocket League.
Let me see if I can.
1v1 in Rocket League.
Mhm.
I'm pretty sure it's somewhere in the rules. I'll look it up.
Yeah, Giles has put in a straw poll about opinions on the Invidious Sif game. So go check that out. Go have a vote there if you want to. There should be some really hype games. Yeah. Any more questions?
It is a flip of a coin, by the way. In which case, we'll find a way to do it.
There you go.
Mm-hmm. Cool bananas. Did Jons write the rules? No, Hi-Rez read the rules and then we adjusted them for
Because if we
OC.
did, it wouldn't be in the rules.
Hmm?
They basically
man.
changed everything from Smite to Smite OPL. That's all they changed.
Sandman has a question. All right. I'm getting ready for this one. This should be good. Yes, you can ask a question, Sandman. Go.
Jesus.
I mean,
Who do
reported
you report to
strictly
someone? Switchbait, I have a question. Who do I report someone to for bias? To Cybergamer admins. That's who you report to for bias and anything like those.
Yeah.
Anything
Report
you feel like may breach Pro League rules or open ladder rules, talk to a Cybergamer admin, the best person to talk to. Can you be on the podcast next week, Sandman? That is up to Knightfall.
That's a good question.
I'm sure if you contact him after this, he will talk to you about